A single line from a book can stay with you longer than expected. It lingers in your mind not as something to analyze, but as something that quietly presses against your own thoughts. And sometimes that lingering line feels heavier than any page of your own writing. Not because it's better, but because it touches a corner of yourself you didn't know what was waiting to be noticed. This morning, I read a paragraph from a novel by Anya Knox. There was no dramatic revelation, no lesson to be extracted. Just one sentence that circled in my head while I made my tea. I kept thinking about it as I wrote in my journal, trying to catch what it had left behind. It's strange how writing after reading can feel like catching the shadow of the text. You aren't copying it, you aren't responding to it directly. You're simply noticing the way it interacts with the fragments of your own day. I wrote one line about the way the morning light hit the counter, one line about the quiet in the kitchen, and somehow the words from the book began to hum alongside my own. There's a peculiar continuity there between the author, the words, and the writer of this page. None of it needs to be grand or polished, just needs to exist. Sometimes people assume that journaling should be purely original, or that writing inspired by reading is secondary. But noticing the afterlife of literature, the small echoes that arrive hours or days later, reminds me that thought and feeling don't need to be invented. They need to be noticed. They need a place to land. It also makes me wonder, how often do we let the words we read actually stay with us? How often do we rush through a book thinking comprehension is the goal instead of noticing what lingers afterward? I've been writing this way for years, letting sentences sit beside my own before I try to respond. Some mornings it's just one line in the journal, other mornings it stretches across a page or two. And almost always it feels enough. Enough to pause, enough to remember, enough to feel the small thread connecting reading and writing, thought and attention. The other day I reread a line from Wolf because books are the mirrors of the soul. I didn't need to unpack it. I didn't need to respond. I just held it and then wrote one line about the sunlight falling across the floor. That single line became a kind of dialogue between her words and mine, quiet, unforced, and lingering, just a companion. There's a comfort in that the idea that literature doesn't have to instruct, that it doesn't have to offer solutions always. Its role can be gentle, to sit beside your own page, to nudge a thought, to create a small resonance that waits until you're ready to notice it. So I leave the open page, the sentence from the book lingering in the margin of my own thoughts. Sometimes that's the only answer the day needs. And that is enough to keep returning to the page, one line at a time, quietly.